The release cycle for 10th edition marches on, and with it brings excitement and some disappointment from the model releases for each of the factions. So we sit down today and decide, what does every faction actually need? I am James Jordan, aka The Bard, and today I am joined by Joe Pointing.
Hello there.
Careful Beards.
Welcome.
Welcome to you.
Thank you.
And also, welcome to you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lawrence Baker.
Thank you. Hello.
The Spider.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Now, for a very meaty topic today, we're going to go through all of the factions in Warhammer 40,000.
Yep.
And we are going to decide what we think they need most.
Yeah.
Now, there's a couple of stipulations here. What we mean by that is that will be sort of it will be a model, like a unit we think they really need. We've seen some factions get lots this edition, and some factions get not very much at all.
Yeah.
And I think there's lots of holes in the factions that I think we often discuss almost every time we play a game, or when you're building the list, you're like, I really wish they had this thing to sort of complement the rest of the army. However, we are allowing one additional rule to this discussion. Any one of us can use our redesign cards.
Yeah.
If we decide we think the thing that faction needs most is to just the model range needs help.
Once per battle.
Once per battle, we can use that. So we'll have to hang on to those carefully and see where we end up. But what we're going to do, we're going to go through alphabetically, I believe, Mr. Bid. So who is first?
The Adepta sororitas.
Oh,
Okay.
ooh. Now I feel you're a good. You know you're Lady Beard. I feel you understand the sisters. Very nice. You kick us off. What do you think they need most?
Well, they've got a surprisingly large range, actually.
They do.
Considering they're a more modern army, they're quite well kitted out, I feel. However, I think something that would be cool to add in for the sisters would to be an Assault Terminator equivalent.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we've already got the big mech suits to go with what's the chops?
So let's,
Morvenval.
Yeah.
I think like a heavily armoured battle sister suit with like two-handed sword sort of thing, so like a combat squad.
Okay.
Or axe or something like that. So kind of similar to the Sacrosantes, but heavily armoured, can deep strike.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Better armor save, maybe higher toughness, harder hitting, just to sort of give like another melee kind of unit, which is harder to shift and a bit easier to move across the board because of deep strike capabilities. I quite like to see that. And I think as a unit aesthetically, I think it'd be nice to see something a bit more
That's very cool.
big.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Like a sort of high. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Like a heavy knight.
I like this a lot.
Yeah. Cool.
Combat Paragon war suits, effectively.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now I've almost thought of similar, but reversey Percy, because one of my favourite bits about the sisters is all the Penitent stuff, all the sort of like redeemers. I would like to see shooty Penitent engines.
Okay.
Because you know they're like you've got the chainsaw ones, and I know they've got flamers. I love to see almost. I'm imagining like a crab kind of thing. And you've got some guy with his eyes and there's like tubes into a gun or something. It's like all horrible. Oh! Yeah. But he's like firing a gun because I know people supplement a Penitent list with your castigators or your immolators.
Yeah.
I would quite like it if you have rhinos, but kind of the whole thing is like, here's all the Penitent stuff. Like the sisters aren't even bothered to turn up to that battle. They're just gonna send in all the, redeem yourselves. Go on then, and just whatever's left, we'll deal with the fallout.
Oh, it'd be kind of cool if they were like almost like a turret. So they're sort of like chained to the ground and they shoot until they die.
Yeah, or powered by like their guts or something. Because the Penitent stuff's horrible.
Powered by their sins, James.
Oh, yeah.
That's really cool. Okay, so thinking about this, I sort of feel like the Penitent engines sort of hit that weird, horrible, dark combat thing. I think the idea of like a Terminator / Centurion-esque upgrade suit could be cool. But I feel like the Paragon suits kind of hit that already. Might be cool to have some different combat options with them. I was thinking something more like a Shrine engine. Oh. Some sort of tracked reliquary, which and they've got all of the speakers on it and everything, like a big a shrine engine.
That'd be cool.
Which provides buffs And you know, it becomes like each shrine engine will have like, you know, the sarcophagus of some previous saint or something. So it's like a one, and you only got one. You can only take one.
Almost like like they have the Triumph, but that on like wheels.
Basically, yeah. You know,
weaponized hymn tank.
Yeah. You know, that for me like hits the whole grim dark and just this ultra fanatical religious, you know, thing.
A tank church.
Yeah, a tank
awesome.
church. You know, and I think it could do. You know, it's probably got some sort of chorister on there, which is actually a psyker. And they can do like mortal wounds and all this sort of jazz. I think that would be really cool and kind of different. You've got an opportunity to write something which is quite different, like a tank that provides buffs to your army.
Yeah.
I was a bit inspired by the kill rig with the Orks.
Yes, that's such a good shout,
where you get something which, you know, can provide buffs to your army and also do some, you know, nasty damage. Yeah. I think it would be quite different and fit the aesthetic of the.
Because you could imagine, you know how you have what's the chops in the pulpit? Junit.
Yeah.
You can imagine like a canoness at the top overlooking the battle on this big spire. Yeah. You can have battle sisters shooting down.
Yes.
And then like
I think you could transport people maybe as well. Like it's just cool.
Yeah. Like Repentia at the bottom running alongside it, like hacking people away from it.
Because at the moment they've only got, because then I can imagine the Palatine blades. Not the Palatine, the Sacrosancts. In there as well. Because at the moment their only transport option is the Rhino or the Immolator, isn't it?
So this cathedral doors open. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, you can make something incredible. So when you know, design team, that was my idea. You're welcome. So yeah, that's what I would do.
I love it.
Adeptus Custodes.
Oh,
the Golden Boys.
Golden Boys. I know.
Go on.
Oh,
please go.
I would like a nice new dreadnought for them, because the Forge Rod one, the Achilles, glorious. Yeah. Pass it one of those, please. Yeah. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Yeah, I mean that's it's a fairly obvious one, isn't it?
Big Custode.
They've got all the infantry. They've got the bikes and they're cool.
Yeah.
But unless you dip into Forge World.
Yeah, because that's the only vehicles they have, really.
Yeah, I would like to. I mean, if you say the dreadnought, I was gonna say a dreadnought as well.
Fair enough.
I'll say the tank. You know, I feel like they basically need the Forge World versions to have some sort of plastic.
They need some proper shooters.
GW, basically.
The Land Raider equivalent.
That would be really cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, their own Land Raiders.
I would like to see it done in the style of their bikes, and by that sort of the old Greek barge style points, you know, with the huge Aquila. Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah. Opening at the front.
Yeah, maybe it could open at the front, or perhaps they disgorge from the sides.
You jump off almost,
I mean, you know, it could be really cool. I mean, again, this is just really easy stuff for the Custodes, and Custodes players would be like, you know, and it would be awesome.
Yeah,
very cool.
I'm in Dreadnought camp as well. I think the Contemptor option at the moment is a bit naff, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd like to see a proper plastic Custodes Dreadnought.
The Contemptor also doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Because in theory that was built for Space Marines. So if you're going to intern a Custodes, surely it would need a larger frame, like a Leviathan or a... Like, if there's only 10,000 of them, you'd have some reverie in putting one of the Custodes into a dreadnought forever.
They definitely need more infantry.
Yeah, there's enough infantry for Custodes.
No, I want to see their vehicles and that. Yeah, I agree. Like, have the aesthetic feel quite different to the Space Marines. Yeah. This is something post Space Marines.
The Custodes, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The Admech.
Cheeky Admech.
Adeptus Mechanicus.
A comparatively large range.
It's massive.
It is massive.
Yeah, okay.
Would you like to proceed?
Me? Yeah, I can. So Admech for me are missing. They're actually missing, and you're going to laugh at this, the knight equivalent. Yeah. Now, I know the Admech have knights. They have their own knights. And back in the day, the Cult Mechanicus book, you had the knights in there. And they were the exact same data sheets as knights. But, you know, they're painted red. And also, by the way... Admech Knights look really cool in that scheme.
They do.
I would actually kind of like to make our Imperial Knight army.
Back in our proper Mechanicus household,
That would be really quite cool. That said, I think I would take it a step further. I think that the Admech Knights should be quite different to the Imperial Knight households. And I would have like, leaning more into, they should be different to Imperial Knights and they should be different to Chaos Knights.
Yeah.
And they've got more of the weird esoteric style weapons.
Yes.
And, all of the Vulcanite stuff and all that jazz. And I'd make them, that would be their big sort of super heavy equivalents.
Yeah.
And that I'll bring that to the table for Admech. I think that would look really cool.
Yeah,
Make the aesthetic again quite different, but they've got it would just be really cool. I think
that would be really cool.
Yeah.
I again feel like they've got plenty of infantry. The Skitarii is all quite well realised. I just think I'd like to see more robots, more of the Castellan stuff, because I feel like if you're going to run that army, you've got very limited choices when they have like a Castellan robot detachment. I'd like to see like some other ones. Maybe there's bigger ones, maybe there's medium ones. A close second is in the Heresy. They have the Praetoriate, which are like the kind of super Skitarii that are like feel no pain and they're really, really tough to the point of, I think in one of the Dark Angels books, like a whole squad of Dark Angels is trying to fight like one of these Praetorians. And they're like dual wielding, got like 8 arms or something. Like they're really cool sounding with all the transonic blades and stuff. Like something that's a bit more like a sturdy combat unit. Kind of like the Sectar robots you have for Thousand Suns.
Right.
Kind of that kind of vibe, but more Skitarii, so weird and sort of very much like the ultimate, that's what you want to become as a little Skitarii. Some sort of crazy robot man.
Nice. I'd like them to do the Forge World drill transport in plastic.
Yes!
That thing was cool as hell.
Termite!
The termite, yeah. I'd love to see that, because the open-topped boarding craft thing is fine.
That's fine.
But it would be nice to have like a deep striking option, like have some like melters on the front or something, like do some sort of deep strike drill attack.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I want to change mine to the termite as well now.
Okay.
Brilliant choice. Yeah, excellent. Yeah.
So I've got that pick. I've got that pick too, but not for this army.
Oh!
Aeldari.
Oh yes, the Aeldari.
I had a big range refresh recently.
Yep.
One thing they haven't redone, Corandris.
They haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Everyone else has got a
Such a
Phoenix
shame.
Lord.
Even the one that was missing.
Yeah. They're also missing a Shining Spear Phoenix Lord.
Oh, that's very true.
That is very
Make
true.
A new one.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, can we have pick two Phoenix Lords?
You can do 2.
I think so. I feel like Eldar are very well catered for at the moment.
They are. They
It's
could also
a big
do with
range.
like a large Scorpion grav tank. One
Yeah.
of the old Forge Worlds
Like, what was
updated
it, the,
into plastic could
not
be
the
good.
Wasp was the little one.
Lynx.
The Lynx, that was
Yeah.
it, with a big old cannon on
Yeah.
the front, like a super heavy kind of equivalent. I know they've got the Wraith Knight.
The Viper needs to be redone and probably actually just made into the Hornet design, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Which is from Forge World.
Potentially weird, but some sort of Harlequin Wraith construct. I think that would be real weird.
Something new for the Harlequins would be quite nice.
I feel very strongly that Harlequin should be split off.
In their own thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Because basically I'm not going to acknowledge Harlequins in that book.
Oh.
Okay.
Controversial.
Much like no Conan film was made beyond the first one. The Harlequins aren't actually in that book.
Yeah.
They need their own book, and they could be fleshed out with really cool units like the old Mimes, which will be an infiltrator / scout
really cool.
unit. They could have a great Harlequin, and of course they could have the Avatar, which is guarding the Black Library.
Yeah,
There's a lot of lore to unleash there.
The Avatar
but
is
they're sat on there.
Gorath.
They're just not doing it.
Yeah.
They are quite an intimidating army, though, aren't they?
They're very intimidating.
As a hobby project, it's like, that's a lot of diamonds to paint.
It is. But I mean, I just don't get the design philosophy sometimes, because you go, right, here's all of the Harlequin range. Here's a couple of editions with books. Really cool.
Yeah.
Right, we're not going to add any more to them. Instead, we'll give you a Corsair unit.
Yeah. A new can of worms.
Here's a Corsair character. Oh, but we'll do Ynnari as well, and here's the Yniad, and here's, the Vizark and everything.
Vizark's cool.
Have a Corsair unit. It looks amazing, but why not make that Corsair unit the Ynnari unit? They would have looked exactly the same.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm just hemorrhaging great ideas.
I'd love to see the Harlequins expanded, actually. That'd be fun.
It would be fun because actually they play very differently to a normal
very
Aeldari.
different.
They're their own thing in many ways.
They're not far off being like a relatively well fleshed out thing. I mean, they've probably got more units than the Emperor's Children have.
Yeah, exactly. Look, you just need a Mimes unit.
Yeah.
The old they used to have a Wraith Lord equivalent, a construct.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
It's really cool.
Nice.
They just
clown
need
face, big creepy ass.
and give them an avatar. And their jobs are good.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Sweet.
And flesh out, finish the Ynnari army that you were making. Do that.
Today's video is brought to you thanks to the support from our on-demand members. It's due to their amazing support that we're able to produce shows just like this one. As well as supporting the channel, our members get access to at least 2 additional battle reports every week, as well as full codex reviews, painting tutorials, our weekly on-demand talk show, all of our competitive 40k league games, and so much more. And we add to our library of content every single week. You can join our on-demand community today by downloading our app or heading to the website. And right now we have an introductory offer for new customers, so there's never been a better time to join on demand. Thanks for watching. Let's get back to the show. The Imperial Guard.
Okay.
Astra Militarum.
Okay.
I feel like we might be in the same headspace on this one.
Maybe.
Should I count us in?
Are you two going together, are you?
Maybe, because I feel like we would say the same thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Should we try?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Counter-chance! Yay! It makes so much sense.
So are you both playing your redo card?
No,
No.
as in just they need
Just an infantry unit.
like a new
squad.
Just like what they've done with the Krieg.
Not quite like not a full range refresh or something like that. Just like with Krieg, they have a unit of like a Catachan kill team.
Even if it was
That's one of the
just
problems.
a Catachan squad or a Catachan command squad and another, I think it would be cool. I think that's where they're going with the guard now.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with that, especially because they've actually got the separate data sheets in there for the book. So again, you know.
And that book is huge.
Yeah.
One thing I really don't want is any more tanks.
No.
There's plenty.
Enough tanks.
I'm full.
There's a bit of an argument about redoing the tanks.
Yeah.
The Lehman Rush chassis is actually very old.
It is very old.
I believe like the more modern design techniques and make it more of a world, leaning a little bit more into that World War I-esque first era tank, and elongating it a little bit.
That would be cool.
Like they could make they could re-profile it.
Yeah.
Don't modernize, don't suddenly Primaris it, and we're on like pseudo-grav things, but we don't fly.
Yeah. No, thank you. Please, no. Please, no. Please.
But
please,
they
no.
could update that design.
Yeah.
But it'd be heartbreaking for all the guard players that have painted all your tanks. I get that.
I don't mind the Chimeras and the Hellhounds. I think those hold up really well. But
I
I think
completely
I agree.
agree.
I think the Lehman Rush aren't quite
Core chassis.
right now, are they?
Especially because the Rogue Dawn is huge.
It's a big boy.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah. And look how cool the Rogel Dawn
Rogue
looks.
Dawn is very cool.
And you notice it's elongated a bit because actually when you look at the Lehman Rush, it's kind of
quite
like a
squat.
squat.
Part of me does think though, like same with the Wave Serpent, same with the Rhino. I think they still kind of hold up weirdly.
Yeah, I'd love it if they kept doing the other regiments and just sort of fleshed out so you can have a really interesting, unique guard army, because you can do things to the tanks to make them look like they're sub-faction.
Well, as soon as you get all the heads for the infantry kit, you just swap a head out on the guy coming out of the Limerus.
I want Valhallans. I want the Talon to get redone.
Wind Swift.
Be awesome.
I want all of that as well. I think the unique regiments, I'd love to see them properly now they've got Gaunt's Ghosts. I'd love to see them just do a squad of Ghosts.
That'd be great.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
So cool.
And, all right, then you'd want some heavy weapons just for you always want a little bit more. Just give me my turret.
Chaos Demons.
Yeah.
I'm using my card.
Are you using your card?
Redo.
Hey.
Interesting.
Oh, actually, hang on a minute.
What? So what?
Well,
what does
kind
that
of,
mean? What?
yeah.
But what do you
Well,
mean?
look.
What? All of the Slanesh? All of
them?
Listen.
the corn?
Listen.
Well, if you bring the chariots back into 40k for a start.
Listen. It's all very old. And I know what they're doing. They're getting ready. It's already happening.
What
They're the only faction so far that they've basically said they're not getting a codex. Here's an index with lots of extra detachments. There's no models being released for Chaos Demons by the looks of it. So I think they're getting ready for a full redo. All of the Khorne demons are very old. All of the Tzeentch are even older. You've got the Slaanesh, which have had some new things, but fundamentally, for the most part, all of the 40k stuff is very old. And same goes for Nurgle. Again, to an extent, they've done some of the greater demons, but most stuff is old, and I'd like to see it all be redone into beautiful new sculpts. That's my redo faction.
That's your redo card.
Redo. New demonettes, new Khorne bloodletters, new plague bearers.
Controversial, Joe. You like to throw around that controversial
Pink horrors,
card?
new flamers, new characters.
I'm not sure. Okay, all right, yeah, all right. What do you think?
I just think Khorne needs help. I'm not using my redo card.
Okay,
because
it's fine.
I mean, I knew Bloodthirster, much like Catachans, would be cool because he's good. He's a good model, but just more posable. That would be fun. Or maybe some options for like, I know you've got the Skull Crushers, but I also like the idea of the actual Juggernauts themselves as being wild.
Yeah.
Like just being unleashed without riders.
Yeah,
I think that would be fun. I think weirdly for me, I think Nurgle's so well realised. I think it's a great range. I think Slaanesh, the chariots need to come back into 40k. Otherwise, what?
Oh, they have. A couple of them have.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh.
They got put. 2 of them got put back in.
Ah.
Yeah. Weird.
So bizarre.
Yeah.
And then yes, some Tzeentch stuff probably needs a bit of an update because those are old models. But otherwise, I think demons can be derpy and weird because they're demons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a controversial take.
Oh, here we go.
With the removal of things like the chariots, what they've got is they've got sort of very fantasy demons going on. And you can see they're putting like chariots, let's just shuffle that back into Sigmar and just leave that there. Okay, fine. I think that they need to go with 40k. I can get on board with your redo range, but I don't think that they have to do that. And I think that would be pretty devastating to the faction as a whole if they did that. I think what they should do is lean more into the Doom aesthetic. And I think that, they started that. This is a classic thing GW does. They've released a unit and then just sort of move on from it and never do anything with it again. Let's take our friend. Vashtor is the start of what the new demon range should be. Vashtor should be in the demon book.
Yeah.
Vashtor,
He is a demon.
Forge Fiends, Mauler Fiends, a redone Soul Grinder.
Oh, you'd put that all in demons.
You can have them as chaos as well. That's fine.
That's
but these
really
are
interesting.
demon engines. They are made on demon worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They are demons.
They're sort of trapped in the machine.
Okay? And in the 41st millennium, of course, the demons would be making use of all of the technology, and this horrible, weird, fused cybernetic cyber demons are what it should be about. Your line infantry can still be your demonettes and your bloodletters and all that sort of stuff.
That'd be very cool.
But I would actually, and then also, guess what? All of a sudden, GW won't be flailing around. I don't know how to make this army work because they suddenly have firepower.
Yeah.
And then it works in a game of 40k.
I love it.
I like it.
It's great.
I love it.
I love it.
Like 40k demons and then you got fancy demons separate. Oh.
Straight out of the Demon Forge, mate. It's perfect.
Knights. Imperial and Chaos variety.
A 2-for-1 special.
Both.
Easy for me.
Go on then.
Easy for me too, I think.
Both. Can I name both at the same time?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
both need the same thing.
Yeah.
You need the serfs. You need the yeomen.
Yep.
You need the people which help maintain these knights and are perhaps aspiring squires. They're hoping to get into their first warglaive one day.
Yep.
And so anyway, basically you need that line infantry.
Completely agree.
And it will revolutionise the faction and really fill it out. You don't need many units. It's like a couple of units and a couple of little support characters, and for the Chaos Demon Forge stuff, it would be all of the cultists, the mad mechs, the mad mechanics that are trying to put
Dark
these things together. Dark Mechanicum, basically.
Yeah, like cultists.
And for those that would be worried about, but I want to play my big stompy robots. The reason why the stompy robots keep being reduced in toughness and becoming more killable is because to make the army work, Games Workshop are making you field as many knights as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So the army's starting to feel silly, quite frankly.
ridiculous,
Whereas you should have 3 knights, 3 massive knights. Yeah, they're nigh unstoppable killing machines, but the rest of your army is all infantry.
Yeah, and for your information, it doesn't mean that you couldn't, in that army list, run just big robots. Go for it.
totally can
It could
do.
still be the cheap, accessible army.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about fleshing out the faction
100%.
and actually making them playable and more interesting to play in a variety of ways, both with and against, you need that
Completely agree.
A bit of something.
I completely agree.
That's it.
Done.
Let's go.
Chaos Space Marines,
Yeah.
the ultimate Warhammer 40,000
Well, I don't know.
faction. I'm going to pick two. I'm going to be a greedy boy.
You've already used your card.
And one of them isn't a defiler, because that's obvious. I would like drop pods, chaos drop pods, obviously, because just get on with it, please.
Yeah.
The other thing I would like are new chaos bikers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say Chaos Bikers.
What do they look like?
Even
Are they like
Outriders.
two-wheel bikes?
Yeah.
Is it like classic sort of bikes, or would you change that?
I would.
Do you think Outriders should exist?
I think Space Marine should have jet bikes.
Right.
I think Chaos should have wheeled bikes.
Okay.
And I don't know why. I just do. There's
feel
something
that
about
older
it that just
aesthetic.
makes sense to me.
Controversially, I almost think it should go the other way around.
Right.
Because in theory, the Chaos Space Marines should have the ones during the Heresy, which were all jet bikes.
Yeah.
Whereas
Oh,
the new
yeah, that
bikes
makes
that make
sense,
sense in a weird way.
Yeah.
So almost it would be quite a fun thing if they've got these arguably sought after relics of the past.
Yeah.
But they've now got like spikes in them and they've defaced them.
Okay,
In
jet
a
bikes.
world now, they've got all the fluff. They've ruined it all now, basically. In a world where you've got these Primaris pseudo-grav tanks.
Why are you using tanks?
You know,
Yeah.
and Belisarius Cool has worked it all out when for 10,000 years they couldn't. Why do Outriders exist?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, Black
It is odd.
Knights should be on jet bikes. I mean, Samael has the technology, he's sitting on it. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Imagine him at the head of a bunch of, Raven Wing or like that. And imagine Outriders being on, the Custodes, I don't understand.
Yeah,
I get what you mean about that aesthetic.
I think it does look cool with the Harley Davidson kind of vibes.
It does.
Yeah.
I always have an issue with it because I kind of go, practically from not that it should be practical, it's a sci-fi fantasy, but it just doesn't sort of make sense.
It
I
doesn't
don't
make
see
any
the
sense.
bikes going through the ruins. I'd love to find a way of making that work. That said, it's fine. You could do a land speeder, to old school sort of chaos land speeder type thing. But for me, the pick that I've been asking for forever is a Dreadclaw drop pod.
Yeah.
It's a Dreadclaw drop pod.
Yeah.
It's a drop pod and a spider.
Right.
What more could you want for Chaos?
Death Guard. Now this is a great range.
Big range.
Great range as it is.
Sure is.
Big range.
Would you like to go first?
I can.
Okay.
Right. Back in the day, G-Dubs did a Prince, which I converted
yeah.
with the turbines.
Yeah.
And quite happy with that paint job. I think it looks pretty good. I love the new Prince model. It's not that the new Prince model isn't amazing, but for me, a single head swap is not enough to be a Legion Prince.
Yeah. I agree.
It's enough to be a marked Prince, but I want a proper Death Guard Prince, okay?
Yeah.
Which is like what we've got. So I want a Death Guard Prince. Given that the range they have is incredible,
Yeah.
there's very little that needs to be added to it. A proper dedicated Prince, please.
I like it.
Thank you.
Done.
I like it. I'm going to give us with one hand and take us away with the other.
Okay.
I'd like to see, and this was one of your ideas from many, many months ago.
My
Your
ideas.
idea is I'd like to see almost like a creepy plague version of the Blade Guard.
Oh
Like
yeah.
a sword and board, like rusty shield, kind of like the
So like Death Shroud, but without Man Reapers.
Yeah, or they could even be Plague Marines, but with all just kind of lean into the combat ones, but having shield ones. You could probably separate them out a bit. So instead of having Plague Marines be a whole thing, there's sword and board and combat Plague Marines and actual just regular Plague Marines.
Plague Knights.
But also very controversially, and I was hoping they were going to do it, is I'd actually like to see Predators and stuff actually taken out of Death Cards and replaced with an actual dedicated. I'd like the Playburst Crawler, but with las cannons. Something. My favourite thing about the Death Guard is they've got so many cool, unique engines that are so uniquely Death Guard, and it makes the range so immersive. It feels weird when you just have a green Rhino or something. I mean, Rhinos and Land Raiders kind of fine, but I'd almost like them to. And I'll say this probably with the World Eaters and the Emperor's Children. I think what the things they need is a replacement for the Black Legion versions of all the stuff.
Yeah.
Like their own stuff for everything. So they are completely smelly boys and they don't have to beg and borrow from other stuff.
I feel like all the legions now should be
Have their own ranges.
Well, they're getting there. They're not far off, are they?
Yeah, they get the Death Guard arguably could be the first to go. Yeah.
I would like, because I've really enjoyed being able to run characters with my Poxwalkers. You can do the Muggen Playcaster and the bellboy, not just Blightbringer can run with Poxwalkers now.
Ding
I'd
dong.
like what?
Ding dong.
Ding dong, exactly. Ring my bell. I would like to see a almost sort of like a what are they called? The big Poxwalkers, basically. So sort of
yeah.
like a
The Last of Us.
Yes,
Like
they
in
did it in
Brothers.
Kill Team, didn't they? Oh no, they did it in like Blacks.
Yeah,
like
it was in
Gellerpox.
Yeah,
the Gellerpox,
Gellerpox,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
something like that to join the Poxwalkers, so you could have like your bigger, like more mutated Poxwalkers to give the idea that the all of the contagion and plague is continuously spreading and getting bigger and badder. It would be fun to see like a giant. Like 2 or 3 giant zombies that
That'd
can
be cool.
join
Yeah.
Poxwalkers. That'd be quite fun.
Love it.
I think. Yeah.
I like that. That's cool.
Drukhari.
Okay.
I feel you should start this
You want
one.
me to go first?
I feel it's fair.
I mean,
Are you playing your card?
I'd be tempted to. I feel like a lot of the range though can still work.
Witches still look great. I think they hold up.
Yeah.
I like the Cabalites. I think they still look cool.
Yeah, they do. They do. I'm not going to say redo because actually I think a lot of the range does still kind of work. The easy one is to update the grotesques.
Yep.
Which are the big,
Yeah.
the fine cast things which only have like one pose.
Yeah.
That's pretty outrageous that that's not been done yet. I actually suspect that is what they're going to do,
Quite
and I
possibly.
suspect that that's all they're going to do. If we're lucky, we might get a plastic Urian Rakath as well.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And at that point, you know what? Cool, because you can all of the plastic Coven stuff then works,
Yeah.
and you can make a really sick Coven army.
Yeah.
Which is actually these days the Drukhari army I'm only interested in running. That's that's
Yeah,
my
the fun
favorite.
ones,
Yeah. That said, they need a Tantalus equivalent, a
Yeah.
big boat, you know, which could make a few different options. Maybe it's Asdrubal Vex barge in one aspect and a big heavy gunship in
Yeah.
another. That's what I would do.
Yeah, that's cool. I'd do plastic Court of the Archon for me. Like,
Oh,
just
yeah?
make that like, because it's a weird sort of menagerie of stuff. And I think an update to that would be great, and just a bit more flexibility with how that unit functions.
Yeah.
So it can be sort of moved around a little bit easier and fit in the actual transports and stuff, and just
Yeah.
make it a bit more practical. And then, yeah, I agree with the Coven stuff. There's like a few things that just need a little bit of help, and then I think actually the range is in a pretty good spot.
I think the range is brilliant. It's really nice. I think the witches hold up. I think the Cabalite stuff is great. The vehicles look good. If you mess with one, it's going to then mess up the scale of everything else.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think redoing the grotesques would be brilliant.
Yeah.
I think you can really realise Drukhari brilliantly with witches or Cabalites, but you can't really with the
With the Covens.
With the Covens.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
just a
missing
really
your,
old
your
range.
big premium unit.
Yeah.
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 Now, I don't think the next one needs much, to be honest. Very Emperor's Children. They're lacking quite a lot, actually.
The other half of the army.
It's sort of like take your pick, really, with Emperor's Children.
Well, I mean, you can give them their Hellbrutes and Predators back for a start, if you like. You know.
Here's a
Given
crazy...
every other legion is now confirmed to have
Yeah,
them.
Here's a
That's
crazy
ridiculous.
thing. Here's a crazy
Yeah.
thing. So when you go through...
That frustrates me.
When you go through the Death Guard, where is it? And this is the same for World Eaters. Yet to see, look, Warp and Rusted Might. There's literally 4 pages of lore about their arsenal of tanks and demon engines.
Hellbrutes.
They mention everything and have lore to go with it. It's crazy.
Oh, that artwork.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Isn't it?
That's
That's
the
what I'm
time
talking
when
about.
artwork was artwork.
That's amazing. Yeah, but Emperor's Children, nothing. They get none of that.
I
Oh no, sorry. Helldrakes. And more.
but not a Forge Fiend.
Do you know what? I'm not sure I'll ever emotionally recover from it.
Crazy.
I just don't understand it.
crazy.
They're not, and I know people think Emperor's Children are my favourite. They're not. Actually, World Eaters are my favourite. But I just on principle alone, I just don't get it.
It's bonkers.
It's just
really
ridiculous.
weird.
Like,
Really, really weird.
I find it more egregious now that the other Wallow factions have come out and have the Predators and Hellbrutes.
Yeah.
They need their own version of a Hellbrute, like a Solic Dreadlord.
Yeah.
And they need their own version, like a Scream Engine type thing, like a spider with a big lascan on the back. Then I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Helldrake just needs to just go. Why is it there?
Yeah.
Why is it there?
Weird choice of all the demon engines.
idea.
I can imagine
Outday.
the poor heavy metal artist that was like, you want me to paint this in pink?
Look
Why?
at the trim.
Do you want me to do the Forge Fiend as well? No, just the Mauler Fiend. But you want me to do a Helldrake? Yeah. Don't do the Forge Fiend though.
When you go to buy a Mauler Fiend on the Games Workshop website, the second picture you get is a Forge Fiend.
Yeah.
On the product description.
Yeah.
Because it's in the same mold.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't.
Although having said that, I would much prefer to have something like a Sonic Dreadnought.
Yeah.
Like the first of the redoings of the Hellbrutes would be brilliant if that was an Emperor's Children Dreadnought.
Yes. Well, in my opinion, all of the Legion stuff should be more like the Death Guard and have
100%.
it's their own. Like 10,000 years later, they've evolved their own machine.
gone weird.
Like technically, I suppose then nothing would have predators and all that sort of jazz because you've got your own stuff now. But
It's fine.
Yeah, I think that's fine. But they've not done that. So right now, I'm just asking you to put back in what everyone else has.
Yeah. Oh, we're giving their cultists as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Genestealer cults.
Okay, so this will also, what I'm here to do today is solve the factions that have problems. Solved demons, okay? Because all of your demon engines are now in demons. You suddenly have an amazing, really interesting army.
That's one of the best ideas you've ever had. That's great.
That's very good.
I'm full of them. I've got more. I've got more here. I'm just sitting on them. Sitting on them for my own nefarious purposes. That said,
Laying an egg.
the termite drill should be in the Genestealer cult army.
Oh, nice.
I do like that.
It's a mining tool.
Yeah.
Okay. And what better thing to have for an army which relies on deep strike and ambush than these horrible termite drills that come out of the ground.
Yeah.
You don't have to disembark on
Yeah.
the turn that you arrive. That's what I'd have. So you've then got protection.
Nice.
You can choose to if you want to,
Yeah.
or you can choose to stay in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe there's nothing in there at all. That could be part of the whole
Yeah.
the whole trap thing. Or it's full of bombs.
The termite drill,
Makes
or
sense.
a version of it, would help solve a lot of the issues that
Yeah.
Genestealer cult have.
Yeah.
Okay? Again, just brilliant ideas.
Well
Yeah.
done.
That's it.
Outstanding, sir.
I told you I had
yeah.
to pick.
I've got a good
like it.
idea as well.
Go on then.
So back in the day, there was a Genestealer cult's limousine.
Yes, that old school.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they introduce
Beep,
limousine, because that would be stupid. What I'd like to see them do is have some kind of like a Land Raider equivalent. It looks pretty mad, and they call it the limousine, like a code name.
Okay.
A little bit like the president's car is called the Beast or something. You call it the
Yeah, yeah,
limousine.
yeah.
So it could be like quite long, whatever. But that's like your big armored transport that could fit in like 20 Genestealer cult people.
Wow. I've had a very similar thought.
yeah.
Because you know what frustrates me the most about Genestealer cults?
More than anything.
More than anything.
What's that?
Why is a mining laser as powerful as a las cannon?
Because they gotta mine the
Very
the
stupid.
mines.
It doesn't make any sense. With Genestealer cults, the problem they have now in everything trying to be balanced is now Genestealer cults are as good as regular soldiers in the guard. Doesn't make any sense because they're just people in mining suits.
Yeah.
So I'd actually make them all a 6-up save and you can come back as much as you want. They should be very easy to kill. But I'd have a beast type or their vehicles should be looted.
Yeah.
That I'd like to actually see, instead of a Ridge Runner, which is like a little mining vehicle with a laser on it, still have that. Make it strength 9, good at, might be able to kill a Terminator. But have a looted Brood Brothers Lehman Russ. Have a looted Land Raider.
Yeah.
Make it a bit more unique. Have it like, you could have all like, part of it's missing has been rebuilt. You could have all like creepy like sort of Tyrannid web stuff starting to consume it. But make it look like they have stolen a thing.
Yeah, repurposed.
Like have
stolen,
one
yeah.
like Godhammer las cannon on one side, but then have some jury rigged like other thing on the other side. Make it look like an Imperial, like even like a Baneblade or something, but have it completely redesigned from the ground up to make it look like they've stolen that.
Yeah.
And when the Space Marines have landed to deal with the Genestealers, they're using the ordnance against them, not just somehow figured out how to make mining lasers better than the premier weapon of the current space military that was oppressing them.
I think, well, the thing is that the mining lasers, I don't have an issue with the mining laser being the same damage.
Oh yeah, that's
output.
fine.
I think, but they end up just, they don't quite know how to marry the lore with the game. Like the lasers should be probably really powerful because you need to give them some sort of anti-tank, but it's short range.
Yeah.
You know, right now they're like 36-inch range or something.
Yeah.
Like it should only be like maybe 12-inch range because
Yeah.
these things are like supposed to be, you know, short proximity, you know.
Not mining from the
tools.
beginning of the shaft.
You design the army
Yeah.
so that it does need to get really close to employ these things, but then give them a few valid delivery systems rather than just deep strike, which is inherently very unreliable.
Yeah.
You
Like,
have to come up
it,
with silly rules like, oh, well, they can appear 3 inches. Oh, that's too broken, so now it's only 5 inches.
Like there's supposed to be an insurgency that's stolen equipment, not just has good equipment from the get-go.
Give them the mining drills.
No wonder all these planets are falling to the rusted claw. They've got brilliant mining lasers.
And the mining drills will probably have like 4 of these lasers on the front.
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
would crack all of the rock in front of it, and
Yeah.
then
As
all
it
of the rock would be ground.
Yeah.
Imagine them coming. It would be iconic. I would love playing against that. I'd be like, that's awesome.
As it stands right now, I'd rather have mining lasers on the front of my Thunderstrike than I would a las talon. It's objectively better.
It's not great, is it?
The Imperial agents.
A very similar thought.
Very weird army.
Very strange army. My idea is very similar to the Genestealer cults. Just have requisitioned assets. You take a Baneblade if you want. You take a Land Raider if you want. You can take any Imperial vehicle. You just pay points for it. Maybe you pay a premium because you've asked for the Space Wolves to borrow one.
What would really fix the agents would be a Land Raider for a start.
Yeah.
That would be my number one pick. Give them a Land Raider, and then that, to an extent, fixes the issue they have with anti-armor, anti-monster, and also make all of the transports agnostic. So you can run anything in a oh god, the
Rilo?
No, the
Immolator.
No, the
Corvus Blackstone.
Corvus Blackstone. Thank you. It's got a giant eye on top of it, for Christ's sake. It's got an inquisitorial eye on top of the flight. Let anything go in it. It would be great.
Rather than just Death Watch.
Yeah, because then you can run way more stuff from the book, keep them safe inside the transports. You then got extra firepower as well. That would go a long way to help. It's not going to fix the army, but it will certainly go a long way to help them along the way a bit.
Yeah, I really like that idea. Repurposing the Black Star is a good way of doing that. When I think to the fluff and Inquisition in general, they talk about these black ships arriving all the time, and then they'll come along. They've got these retinues and all of that. But another common thing is that the Inquisition has like a standing force of professional, elite soldiers, and I think what you're sort of missing is that soldiery. And I would go for that Kazakin. It used to be, back in the day, the old stormtroopers were the ones which, like, this is like sort of older fluff. They eventually then became sort of Kazakin, and then
They became the Tempestus Scions.
Then they become the
effectively, didn't they?
Tempestus Scions. I feel like you could either use the Scions just straight as they are, that Scions are their soldiers, or you could come up with a slightly sort of modified version. Maybe they all have, I don't know. They've all got the hot shot guns anyway, but they need that soldiery, and then you'll have your sort of that Taurox-esque and I think Flyer-esque, but imagine with all of the Inquisition symbols on it, would look really, really
I really
cool.
like that because it feels. One of the things that I don't love, I do and don't love about the agents is that it's very ragtag. It's like, oh, we've got the police force and the space navy.
But you're not going to deploy the police force against the demons from the
exactly.
war.
It feels like they should be supplementing somewhat the army. But if you've got like a core military force, because the Inquisition aren't going around fighting wars, they're sort of getting in and being weird. But if when they need to, they can deploy their military force.
Well, they do have it, but all of the fluff has it. They've got, like, on their ships, they have a standing army.
That would be really cool.
They do.
And they're all like ultra elite. They're basically Scions.
Dark Tide.
Yes, it's not like a huge 10,000 standing. But they've got like platoons of
soldiers.
these soldiers which go into a zone to help deliver the Inquisitor where he needs to be. And that's what they're missing, I think.
The Leagues of Votann.
Oh,
I've got one straight out the bat.
Go for it.
What is essentially the Dread Knight should be basically the
like
Votann equivalent. It just wants to be like the alien loader, doesn't it? It just needs to look quite a bit like Jason got, like kind of like a mining thing first that's been retrofitted to fight in a war. They just need a dreadnought for me. That's all they need.
That was my same.
I'd agree.
Done. The Necrons.
Which
the Untold Legions. A big one.
Well, they made a missile.
Necrodermis. Who wants to go first? I don't mind going first.
Okay, you go first.
Mine isn't a redo card. It's more of like the one unit that really needs to be modernized. The Destroyers.
That's what I was going to say.
Because the heavy destroyers I really like.
Yeah.
I love them.
the
But
regular
I
plastic destroyers are
really
really
hate the
terrible,
destroyers.
yeah.
They're so stiff
Yeah.
and look so weird.
Yeah.
Because I like the centaur style weird floaty bit with a man in. That's cool. I kind of quite like the aesthetic. They just need a little bit of modernisation.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something really controversial that I'd redo the destroyers for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, so many of you guys are going to hate me. I'd redo the whole range.
Really?
That'd be a
That'd
redo. So explain to me, so I've got an idea of what I'd like them to look like. Explain to me what you want Necrons to look like.
Well, I mean, I want their fluff to be completely different for a start.
Yeah.
That said, it is what it is, and there's so many of you which are massive fans. I get it. I feel like I love what they've lent into some of the more modern designs, like the big, the big, what's it called?
Doomstalkers.
The Doomstalkers.
The War of the Worlds things. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Like for
great.
me, leaning more into that sort of Matrix-esque,
Yeah.
Alien-esque aesthetic rather than, space human Egyptians.
Yeah.
Two Kings in Space.
Yeah, Tomb Kings in Space. I just think it's really, I don't know. This is terrible for me to say. I feel it's like quite a glib sort of approach to writing a science fiction
I agree.
race. That said, is that why would they have these ghost arcs with all of the little Necron bodies in there? I don't know. The monoliths are quite cool, and then teleporting in. I would just go for the more weird stuff, and also like for me, the majority of them, because it would all be Canoptech themed at that point. They don't have personality. They're much more terrifying in my world, in my imagination, than what they
that
currently
Matrixy vibe. Is
which
really
has
cool.
become like quite like if lean into the AI thing, instead like they're space pharaohs.
I'd love to see them redone like Terminator.
Yeah.
Like just a load of T-800s walking around.
Yeah.
Like those big industrial looking, but also very futuristic tanks. I think you could also mix in some of those Matrix style things as well to that same thing.
You definitely can.
It would be so much more scary if it was like a human skull, not like a hello. I've come from ancient Egypt.
Do you know what?
The Catanical and the thought of these shards, like that's all great.
Super controversial. But you know what actually would have made more sense? Is if the Necrons and the Votann were one faction. Because they should be the Iron Men for the Votann.
Oh, right,
If they're all powered by the Votann, which is a big AI and not just space dwarves, and they're just space Tomb Kings, actually the two together would be, there's very few of the squats left, and they are enslaved by these big AIs that are kind of the Matrixy Canoptic stuff. Those two together would make a far better overall faction, in my opinion.
It'd be very cool if Games Workshop this whole time have been hiding the fact that they are actually exoskeletons. And like they do another unit and there's like one of it's got like half his face blown off and it is just like Terminator underneath.
What, for the Votann?
That'd be such a cool
That'd
switch
be so cool, yeah.
Really short Terminator.
The Orks.
My pick for Orks, because they've got so much stuff, I don't feel like they're really lacking anything. But I'd love to see new Meganobs. We've got our Meganob, what's he called? The character.
Boss of Megarama.
Yes. Awesome. The
Well,
Meganobs just sort of stick out like a bit of a sore thumb with the updated range now. So new Meganobs would be great for me.
Yeah, for me,
But
genuinely,
proper Terminator, so they're actually scary, super resilient.
I think the Beast Boss looks really cool. I think the Beast Boss of Squigosaur looks cool, and I like the idea of the Squig Riders. They weren't needed at all.
That was
the range
weird. That was a
was
weird
already
choice.
humongous. They didn't need more of the same stuff. So you already got bikers. Do you want them riding Squigs? Not really. Well, you've got them. Have them. Here's a kill rig. Like that didn't make any sense to me. I like the idea of it being like snake biters. What's it? Yeah, snake biters. Yeah, that is really cool. But the only thing I think they need is just all the mega stuff. Just needs a little bit of new models for them, like new big mech. Well, they've got the new big mech, haven't they? But the big mech in mega armor, all the mega armor stuff needs to look more like the boss of mega armor. That's all I want.
Right, highly controversial from me.
Here we go.
I'm going to use the second redo card.
Breaking the rules.
I've learned now. I'm the only one that plays by the rules. It's fine. Please continue.
Okay, if I was to, if you like orcs in a sci-fi setting, and here's the irony being, orcs are one of my favourite factions to play in 40k. I've always loved playing with them. If you're going to have that, then I would really sci-fi them up much more and make them much more terrifying. I think that they lean too much into the comedy side. I think, the new War Boss and Mega Army, you feel more of that brutality and the Gazkul Thraka model. I think they all need to be updated like that. I don't think that the Orc infantry stands up to that aesthetic currently. But if I can only do one, I'd redo the Meganobs.
Yeah, nice. Grey Knights.
We don't know the alphabet anymore.
A, B, C, D, E, F.
The great news is, and this is the fantastic news for you.
Don't you dare.
As the director,
Yep, that's
the
fine.
CEO,
We've had words off camera.
I can make up what the rules are. And my rules are that I get a third redo.
Is your third
card.
redo? Oh, okay, it's fine. It's fine.
The Grey Knights, yeah. My favourite army in 40k needs to be redone in their entirety.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my one and only redo because yes, I completely agree. I don't want anything new for that army. If there's a new character, it's just exacerbating the problem.
Yeah.
Which is why I think they showed off at Adepticon.
I've got a baby carrier upgrade kit.
That was a weird decision.
Just put the whole range, just retire it, and do it all again.
They should have.
Space Wolf style.
Why didn't they just take that 3D print that everyone's using to make it into a big knight?
Yeah, that would have been good.
And actually just design that to fit the current.
Or just do what they've done with the Chaos Demons and just be like, look, you've got an updated index.
Yeah.
Like no one wanted that upgrade sprue at all.
Who's
gonna buy more Dread Knights for that upgrade sprue?
Imagine doing an upgrade sprue instead of just redoing the Dread Knight. Imagine a world where that exists, and then you realise that it's not a nightmare; it's reality.
I'm going to make you even more unhappy now, Lawrence. Something I was observing the other day. Yeah. Do you know what's taller than a Grey Knight?
Please don't.
Do you know what's taller than a Grey Knight?
What?
A League of Votann.
No, which one?
The infantry. All of them. Put them next to each other. They're about the same height, if not slightly taller, with the backpacks. They have a bigger presence than the little purifiers.
My favourite army in the game is some sort of meme.
That's a shame. Yeah, I mean, one thing that might happen, it probably won't.
Sad.
They could be the 11th edition starter box.
I would love nothing more than that.
I mean, look, they could be. I mean, I hope they are.
It'd be really cool.
Imagine what they do with the Deathwing Knights, but they're with the halberds and shooting magic.
We don't need any more Space Marine infantry, do we?
No, I mean, I'm still thinking back to the many editions of Aeldari where they're screaming for plastic aspect warriors. Yes, I know you've done them all now, but have a Corsair squad.
Well, how long have we had Crow for? How long have we had New Crow?
2 years now.
Voldus.
He's even older.
He's shorter than Crow, though. Crow's bigger than Voldus.
Let's not redo any of the Grey Knight characters, like the iconic ones. Here's a new character.
My favourite thing. Do you know what to do with the new giant Crow you've just made? Stick him on a massive rock.
Yeah.
Make him even taller. He's at 8 feet tall.
So much so that I'm still using the old one because it feels embarrassing to put this awesome new model and design. That's the thing. I'm bitter because of what you do. You produce such beautiful models.
I painted that new Crow for you as a gift.
Yeah.
It looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'll use my second redo card to redo Grey Knights. Yeah. The Adeptus are starters.
Yeah.
Woo boy!
We're going to do generic Space Marines, Blood Angels, Dark Angel Space Wolves, and Death Watch.
Black Templars.
And Black Templars.
Yep.
And the Rainbow Warriors. First of all, generic Space Marines, I would like, please, a new Rhino. Upscaled.
Ooh.
Doesn't need to be crazy. Doesn't need to be super fancy. We just want a bigger Rhino.
Yep.
I like what they've been doing recently with the different rules for different Chaos Legions with the Rhinos. They've become a bit more meaningful, but just very, very small now. I like a new Rhino, upscaled. They've done the drop pods. Yeah. Why stop there?
I want new bike characters and bike options.
Yeah.
They need the whole bike range now because you've got the Outriders and you've got a bike chaplain. But as a White Scars fan, I want a whole bike range.
Do you want wheels or jet?
We're kind of living in a wheel-based world now, aren't we?
Well, bikers are apparently.
Don't have to be. Look at the Primaris range. They all of a sudden, they didn't have tracks anymore.
Yep.
That is, but the Primaris Outriders do.
But that's because they made a terrible mistake.
They did make a terrible mistake.
Belisarius Calls worked it out.
I would like to split the ATV into 2 bikes and just have it as a bike because the ATV needs to never be seen again. That thing is so heinously stupid.
The ATV just needs to be the land speeder, and then you've got your jet bikes.
I want my Storm Speeders, and I want my bikes, and I want to be able to take power swords and power axes, and I want Librarian on the bike, and I want Captain on the bike, and I want to be able to run a full White Scars army.
I love it.
That was my pick. I think the Outriders, the wheels need to go, guys.
Yep.
Okay, let go of the wheels.
Yeah.
Just let go of them.
Yeah, Captain on jet bike, Librarian on jet bike, really cool.
Raven Wing armies, White Scar armies, with all of the land speeders, it will
Be
just
so cool.
people will be like, "That's awesome."
Yeah, it looks so cool.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I love
Make
it.
so.
Right, next up we have the Black Templars.
I don't think they need much because they've got quite a tasty range at the moment.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually.
Because they got redone relatively recently. I would like, and I think this will be true of quite a few of them for me, is a Specialist Dreadnought.
Sure.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Like I think, I think you've got your Sword Brothers, you've got your Primaris squads, you've got Marshal, you've got Genestealer, you've got all the infantry. You can then add to the rest of the faction in you can do head swaps and bikes and stuff. Something like that, because I think when the Assault Terminators come out, that will fix the Templars, because you could do their Assault Terminators with shields and stuff and swords. I think when eventually something like that happens for Terminators, then that would fix that for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, then some sort of Dreadnought.
Okay, I would go for a new Land Raider variant.
Ooh, just
because
for
originally the Crusader was just for them.
That's cool. Yeah.
And I would have their own sort of new Crusader.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and that can hold maybe that can hold more models than anything else.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Terminators.
Usually Terminators. Assault Terminators?
Okay, Terminators. Yeah.
Grail Knights, just big Terminators with shields and swords.
Oh, so proper special.
Double R'd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is really cool.
See, I really like that. I really like that,
Yeah.
but that's treaded on the Deathwing Knights. That's the uniqueness of the Deathwing Knights. I don't want it to be too, everyone's got a Deathwing Knight. Do you know what I mean? I want Assault Terminators for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you be careful now, still. Sort of
They could have a sword and a grail.
yeah, nice.
Do you
Okay.
prefer Black Templars or Dark Angels?
Dark Angels.
Do you prefer Blood Angels or Dark Angels?
Don't do this to me right now.
I think the more I talk to you, I don't think that you are a son of Baal. I
am a
think
son
that
of Baal.
you live on the rock.
I live in both.
You're hiding away with Cypher and friends in that rock.
I mean, the thing is, I'm on a big Dark
You're a
Angels
Dark Angel player.
on a big Dark Angels But Blood Angels, the thing is every time I see a picture of Dante, I just swoon and I get all weak in the knees. I just love
You
Blood
swoon
Angels.
whenever someone mentions the Deathwing.
I don't swoon, I fire up inside and I want to go
There you
punch
go.
some fallen.
There you go.
Well, we're speaking about Blood Angels now. What would you like? What's missing? Please tell me.
I can tell you what's.
Can I use my secondary redo card?
You want to redo the Blood Angels?
All the reasons secondary card.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get it right at all. I want to redo the Death Company as well. That whole release, except the characters, do it again, please.
Death Company haven't even been done, as far as I'm concerned.
Now, at first I was like, well,
Black
maybe...
Templars are closer to what the Death Company should look like with all
it
of
was
the chains
really
and
half-assed,
stuff.
wasn't it?
Oh, look, the thing is,
Okay.
at first I was like, well, it's fine, because the Space Wolves are just get an upgrade screw for Blood Claws.
Talk about night and day. Flipping egg.
But listen, I'm gonna go for the thing which is most important right now.
Go on.
They're not gonna redo the range, all right? Instead of giving me a Blood Angel captain on foot.
Oh, yeah.
another
Yep.
example of giving what no one asked for.
What do you want? Anything that's cool. We're going to give you a captain on foot.
A Blood Angel captain on foot.
And a Sanctuary Priest on foot, don't forget him.
It's not even a cool variant with a jump pack.
Why didn't they give him a
just
jump pack?
on foot. But you can use the Assault Captain model, the generic model if you
Don't
want.
sadden me.
But
The model's cool. It's
But-
just,
this is what you need to do. Listen very carefully. It's called a Sanguinary Priest with jump pack. That's it. Because the Sanguinary Priest on foot is basically trash, in my opinion. I don't need that. I didn't ask for that. I don't want it. I want him with wings, going with the Sanguinary Guard.
It's the way you get them
It's
on the
in the
ground.
name. Sanguinary Priest, Sanguinary Guard. It's in the name. Just make it happen.
I want the Dreadnoughts back. I want the Dreadnoughts back. Librarian Dreadnought and the Furioso.
Yeah.
It's almost like they should do it again, shouldn't they?
Cool as hell.
They should do that release again.
Dreadnoughts are... no one looks at Dreadnought and think, Dreadnoughts are lame. Dreadnoughts are not lame. Dreadnoughts have always been...
cool.
Epic. Everyone
So
loves
cool.
Dreadnoughts. You're a Space Marine player, you love Dreadnoughts. If you're not a Space Marine player, you probably love Dreadnoughts. But what you also really, really, really love as a Blood Angel player is the Sanguinary Priest with jump pack.
Right. Speaking of angels, what about the Dark Angels?
Be the Raven, baby.
Yeah, Ravenwing.
Nimini Ravenwing.
Yep.
I love that range. It's not in the cupboard at the moment. I used it the other day.
It holds up pretty
It's
well, but
gorgeous.
they're V-small.
Feel that we've not sort of done that with the bike upgrades, because then they would have an upgrade kit, wouldn't they?
For me, if they just give us a wing on the back of an Outrider, they need to go home, have a look in the mirror and do it again.
But it would be the helmets, the weapons, and the wings.
You need Corvus hammers, you need helmets, you need a bit of church on the front of the bike.
Yeah, they're
You
very
need smoke.
extravagant.
You need those Ravenwing to be inner circle companions on bikes.
Yeah.
You're not just some Outrider that's been given a special mission. If you're an Outrider, you don't know where the Fallen are. You don't even know the Fallen exist. You're just a random guy on a bike. If you're in the Ravenwing, you are the first port of call for identifying the traitorous Fallen. Come on now. Give us flying churches. Give us land speed of vengeances. Make them damage 3. They do it properly or not at all.
Well, they've got the new speeders for Primaris. If they just put in all of the stuff that made the original speeders really cool, all of those huge ornate parts,
Yep.
all of the watchers
pulpit
in
on the
the
front with
dark,
the heavy bolter.
yeah, all of the really like the
master.
pieces of masonry, practically. That's what makes that range really cool.
You've got to be very careful with the Black Knights, because if you just do an Outrider with a head swap and a Corvus hammer, it'll look pants.
Yeah.
It just won't. It's not the same. You need the wings on the front. You need,
Right, I have to reveal something to you. This is really important. I hope the audience is listening. Everyone buckle up. I just need to reveal to you, based on the passion in your voice, you are quite clearly a Dark Angel player. Let's move on.
I love the Dark Angels. I also love the Blood Angels.
Death Guard. No, Death Watch. Death Watch.
Well, they need a range, don't they?
Yeah, how long you got?
That's exactly what they don't have.
What they need,
sort of fixed them a bit in the index.
it's the best they've ever been
Yeah.
in terms of the index.
Yeah, right.
They're great. What they need, weirdly, is to redo the Death Watch veterans.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And the Terminators.
Yep.
Like the actual Death Watch units.
Yes. That's what they
Are
need.
just really old now.
Yeah.
Yes,
And-
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
They just need to update.
They need to do the veterans.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. Done.
A Watchmaster and Terminator armor would really help.
Yeah.
Redo the characters.
Yep.
Yep.
Jobs are good. And then just copy in all of the Space Marine stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Done. Space Wolves.
Well, we'll see, I suppose.
We'll see.
TBD. Can't really comment on that because stuff's being announced all the time.
Yeah.
So it's all very exciting.
So we have to cop out with the Space Wars.
Kind of,
because we
because
don't know what's
We
coming.
don't know what's coming in the Codex yet.
It
so
looks
we'll
very
wait and see.
exciting.
Yeah. Thousand Suns.
Yes.
As of filming, very imminent.
Very imminent.
As of filming, they've shown off the weird robots.
I like those robots.
They're all right.
Did anyone ask for them? Maybe not, but they're pretty cool.
I would have preferred to have a combat Scarab Occult Terminator
Yes,
unit
please.
instead.
Yes, please.
See, the Thousand Suns, that the Egyptian pharaohs in space works for them.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Got a cultural vibe that works
Yeah.
really well for
Yeah.
that. I don't know why. I'm not going to let it go, Necrons. I'm sorry.
Double Kopesh, Kopesh and Shield,
that was
something
the
like
original
that.
thing.
Absolutely sick.
Yeah,
It
or
works
Starves,
Really
I
great.
don't know.
Really, really
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Jobs are good.
It's really good. Yeah.
Tyranids.
Oh.
The scary aliens from space that have just had quite a lot of new models.
They have had quite a lot, haven't
Yeah.
they?
I'd like new warriors.
Yeah.
Because the warriors, the kit is kind of old and the unit is a bit dull now,
Yeah.
I'd say. I'd like to see something that is multi-parts so you can have a combat variant and a shooty variant. It feels like that's a really iconic unit that could do with updating.
Do you think the Carnifexes need a redo?
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah, Carnifex is really
Great point.
But I mean,
Maybe
the Warriors
more.
also really need a redo.
Yeah. Okay, I'll pick Warriors, you pick Carnifex.
There you go,
And then
done.
they're both
I
going to get
pick
redone.
Carnifex. That is such an iconic unit. It
Yeah.
leads.
When you've got the Screamer Killer now, who looks
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, you need the Carnifex redone.
Ta-ow.
Should we do a 3, 2, 1? I feel like we might all be in the same headspace.
Yes.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Combat Crisis
House.
Suits.
Crisis Suits, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Combat Crisis
Yeah.
Suits.
Sure we need. Yeah.
It would be so cool.
Come on.
Now we know the fusion blades exist as a concept
Look,
within the tower.
Gundam fans everywhere will be like swooning over, hey, seen that new 40k game lately?
Gundam, look at those guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Exactly,
talking.
like-
And look, again, it's like, how do you fix the army, which is otherwise quite one-dimensional?
Because you make them effectively like Terminators.
Yeah, yeah,
They're just,
it's fine.
They don't need to be super killy, but they're there to almost be like. You could almost one thing you could almost have them like you have maybe one with like a shield and like a plasma axe kind of thing.
Yeah.
But also maybe in Marvel when he is in the big Hulk Buster and he has that hand that sort of goes over Hulk's fist and absorbs them.
Yeah.
You could have cool like nets and things. They're supposed to be to slow the enemy down or pen them in. So you can then pew, 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 pew.
Would you like that to be part of a new crisis suit kit?
I
Feel a little bit dated now, would you think?
I still think the crisis suits are great.
I think
I still like them.
I do like them as well.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I would say though, I do feel that they are a bit dated.
Probably.
And I feel that you've got the perfect opportunity
This
when
is true.
updating them to have your gun options and your combat options in there
Yeah.
in the one
Yeah.
kit. So that's
Would
how
make
I
sense.
would do it from a
Yeah.
business point of view
Yeah.
and an aesthetic point of view, because I feel commanders are top tier kits.
They're
Yes.
great.
And if you look at someone like Fletcher, he basically uses the commanders to make all of his crisis suits,
Yeah.
generally speaking, for that reason. So I do think that they do need a redo, but
Yeah.
with that redo, they give them the combat
Yeah,
options.
because they're still superposed, but it's one of their most intelligent kits because
It
it's all
is,
ball
yeah.
joints.
Yeah.
It
So
is.
you could do loads with that kit. I just think, a combat kit is what you need.
Yeah.
Final faction, the World Eaters. Just got their big man. And
fun one, isn't it?
actually, in retrospect, I think he's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quite
I
like
don't think anyone was gagging for it, but I think he looked great with the 8 bound.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
he
does,
gives a
yeah.
bit more flexibility to how you run the 8 bounds. I think he's
Yeah.
actually okay.
I think the funny thing is if you'd asked me this 6 months ago, I probably would have said Red Butchers.
Yep.
But I think now more and more I'm seeing actually they're trying to make the 8 bound the equivalent of that kind of a unit, right?
Yeah.
They are your chunky combat unit. I don't think they've actually got the rules right for the army right now, but I think from a model perspective, it's not my aesthetic, it's not what I would have gone for out of those, and I think the Exalted ones look a bit derpy. They've got massive feet.
I
I don't know what
understand.
those about, but I actually think that they just, I would say Red Butchers, but I kind of think just more, I don't know. I read it. World Eaters are a tough one.
Two things here. Well, obviously, World Eaters,
They're your boys.
they're my boys. So here's the thing. That they have a Dreadclaw as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Because the fact that they don't have one is still one of the most
Shameful!
shameful things that's been going. It's a criminal offence. I've called the police multiple times in the Games Workshop. That Chaos still have no Dreadclaw. Forge World did it, and you're still not done it. Anyway, my point is this: assuming they have the Dreadclaw, because Chaos Marines have it in my world as well, right? What they should have is the Red Butchers, and I'll tell you why.
Fair enough.
The Red Butchers, what the 8 bounds do is give you that really nasty sort of combat thing. Okay, that's great. The Red Butchers should give you that tactical flexibility. We've got the firepower too,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and you've got the better save. I do think they offer something different.
Yeah.
The problem with World Eaters is that they can be really quite one-dimensional.
Yeah, that's very true.
And therefore, as a result, especially when you've been a World Eaters player or you've played against them a lot, you sort of end up using the same tricks and it becomes a little bit stale after time. You need it, that's why Lord of Skulls is really fun, because you bring in something with a lot of shooting and it's got big, and now they've made him 580 points. The Predators are quite interesting because the rapid fire thing, but the Ballistic Skill 4 really does hurt. It hurts a lot because there's so many, I'll put -1 to hit.
That's what we found in our game, wasn't it?
It's like, well, actually, all right, well, I'm not really hitting much, am I? So I think the Red Butchers are the screaming thing, which is, and then, you want the Terminator Lord. So that really cool limited edition model,
Yeah.
he should be leading them.
That would be
The old Zuffer model, which I made Sargaroth out of. But you
Yeah.
need the Red Butchers need to come back.
That'd be
guys.
really cool. I almost entirely agree, but what I'd love to see is a demon engine which would have replaced what they used to have, which was the Venom Crawler. And the perfect way to do that is the Blood Slaughterers.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
That Forge World kit.
Yeah.
So similar idea to the Venom Crawlers. You'd have a few small demon engines that just charge up. They got a couple of guns.
Yeah.
I think that would just give a bit more flavour to the World Eaters to sort of go into the whole demonkin thing.
Yeah, agreed.
Love it. Well, that covers all the factions.
We did it.
Yeah.
We did it.
We did it.
Look, I feel
And
like
fixed a couple
You're
of
all
factions.
very welcome.
Look
You're
at us
very
go.
welcome.
Of course, I bet there's loads of you screaming at us like, that's a terrible idea, this is my idea. Let us know in the comments what your ideas are. What do you think all your favourite factions need? We love hearing from you guys, and it's nice to have like a nice discourse going on in the comments below, so that's really fun. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today. I've been James Jordan, aka The Bard, and I've been joined by Joe Pointing.
I have.
You have. You
have.
are.
Yeah.
He is. He is.
We are.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. That's Lawrence Bacon. We are Table Tactics. And you are Mega Bosses. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.